Hi everyone, today we're working on 6.2 day 2, multiplying radicals. Your essential question is, how do you multiply radicals? Our first definition is for like radicals. Like radicals have the same index and they have the same radicand. That's a fancy way of saying the little number in front of your square root is the same and whatever's underneath it has to be the same too. So I could have like the cube root of 4x and like 4 cube root of 4x, and those would be like radicals. You need like radicals in order to add or subtract, which we're going to multiply today, so it has a little bit of addition and subtraction. Your next definition is for multiplying radicals. If you do the nth root of a times the nth root of b, you can combine it and do the nth root of a times b. Again, for my example, we have the cube root of 2 and the cube root of 20. That's the same as the cube root of 2 times 20, which again is the cube root of 40. For your first example, you're going to write the reduced radical form of the product below. So we have the cube root of 7 times 2 minus the cube root of 29. Essentially, just like we've done before, you're going to take your number out front, which in this case happens to be a radical, and distribute it. So I'm going to do 2 times the cube root of 7, and you can just write that 2 in front of your cube root of 7. And then we're doing negative cube root of 29 times the cube root of 7. Since we have the same index, we can multiply our numbers underneath it. So we do 2 cube root of 7 minus the cube root, and then we can do 29 times 7. Again, I still have 2 cube root of 7 minus, in my calculator, we're doing 29 times 7. That gives me 203. So we have the cube root of 203. Now you do have to check and make sure that everything is simplified before you call it your final answer. For this one, we had 2 cube root of 7 minus the cube root of 203. For 203, I'm looking for a perfect cube that goes into it. There isn't one, so this is going to be your final answer. 2 cube root of 7 minus the cube root of 203. Now the good news is that on all of your homework, you're doing the square root. So just like we did last week, you should find how you simplify your square roots. So again, you're looking for the biggest perfect square that goes into that number, break it into products, so that perfect square times whatever you need to get to your original number underneath your square root, and then just simplify. For example, B, we have the square root of 6 times 5 plus the square root of 3. Again, we're going to take our square root of 6 and distribute it. So we're going to have 5 root 6, and then we're going to have plus the square root of 6 times the square root of 3. Again, since they're both square roots in my second term, we'll keep the first one the same, and then we can multiply our numbers underneath. So we have the square root of 6 times 3. That gives me 5 root 6 plus the square root of 18. Again, I'm looking for a perfect square that goes into 18. My perfect squares are 1, 4, 9. And I'm going to stop there because I know I can divide 18 evenly by 9. 18 is the same as the square root of 9 times 2. Again, you can break it up into 9 times the square root of 2. And the square root of 9 gives me 3, so we really have 3 root 2. 6, I can't break it up. I can't divide it by 4, I can't divide it by 1, so we're going to have 5 root 6 plus 3 root 2. And again, I can't combine these because my radicals are different. They have a different number underneath, so we can't actually add them together. They don't have like radicals. So this is going to be your final answer. For C, we have 2x minus 3, minus the square root of 3, times 2x minus the square root of 3. Just like we've done before when we have two binomials we're multiplying together, we are going to do the box method. So I'm going to set up my box. Along one side, I'm going to put my first expression, and on the second one, I'll put my second. So along the top, let's do 2x minus the square root of 3 for this one. My second term is the same, 2x minus the square root of 3, and then we'll multiply. 2x times 2x gives me 4, and then you need to add your exponents, so we have 4x squared. 2x times negative root 3 is negative 2x root 3, that number will be up front. 2x times negative root 3 down below is negative 2x root 3. When I do negative root 3 times negative root 3, I get a positive, and then the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, that's actually the square root of 3 times 3, which is the square root of 9, which is 3. If you have two square roots and they have the same number underneath them, when you multiply them together, the square roots cancel each other out, so you'll just be left with whatever that number underneath was. So at this point, I have 4x squared minus 2x root 3 minus 2x root 3, and then plus 3. Again, notice these two terms are the same, so we can combine them because they both have the square root of 3. The numbers out front don't matter so much. They don't need to match to combine them, but they do both need an x because it had an x. So we can rewrite it as 4x squared. If I do negative 2x minus 2x, I get a negative 4x, and then the square root of 3 plus 3. And that's your final answer. All right, our last one. We have x minus the square root of x times x minus the square root of x. Let's do this. To make it just a little interesting, will you turn this into plus? Again, we're going to set up our box. Along one side, we're going to put our first term, our first expression, x minus the square root of 10. And then along the other side, we'll do x plus the square root of 10. For the first one, we're doing x times x. Again, you need to add your exponents, so we have x squared. My second one, we have negative x root 10. Down below, we have positive 1 times x, so x root 10. And then my last one's, again, positive times negative gives me a negative. Since we have the same number underneath our square root, we're just going to be left with that number, so negative 10. At this point, we have x squared plus x root 10. Oops, excuse me. Minus x root 10, and then minus 10. Again, you can combine your like terms. I notice these two terms here have the same square roots, the same number underneath the square root, and they both have an x. So we can keep x squared out front. This is technically 1x minus 1x. So if I do 1 minus 1, I get 0. So these two are going to cancel each other out, and then you're just left with negative 10. And x squared minus 10 is your final answer. All right, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or if you need any help, don't hesitate to talk to me when I get back. All right, thanks.